Good morning, my friends, and welcome to the next episode of URU Complete Chronicles. In the chat, we have Spiper, good morning to you. We have Nev Eagleson, good morning or good evening to you from New Zealand. We have Zephyronicus in the chat, we have Jaffrus in the chat, and we have Dodo Sevenger in the chat. Good morning to everyone. Last time out, we beat Teledan, and we are now moving on to the next age, Galician, I think it is. And we will see what we have there. We beat the first puzzle in Galician, and then we took a warping stone to somewhere else on Denis, a balcony on Denis, which didn't really seem to serve much purpose except to show us maybe a clue to a future puzzle. Dodo is always jealous about living in New Zealand. Yeah, New Zealand, probably as far as any other country that I would like to live in goes. Because I quite like living in the UK. It's nice. It's not too hot, not too cold. We don't get any extreme weather. We don't have any poisonous animals, except for adders and the recently introduced false widow spiders. But those are pretty rare, and adders are so timid, you are lucky to ever see one living in the UK. They will run from you like anything, but when I was a child, they used to be the only poisonous animal that we had in the UK. Now they are one of a few, because we've been gradually introducing venomous creatures from, I should say venomous rather than poisonous, I suppose. But we've been gradually introducing venomous creatures from abroad over time. But I think aside from the UK, I think New Zealand would sort of be on my list. You know, I'm not a big fan of spiders though, as you guys have probably guessed from many episodes of various games that we have played. So Australia, definitely out. Sorry, Australia. It's just not the vibe. It's just not the vibe. I'm sorry. Right, so as I mentioned on the Discord yesterday, I have a couple of channel announcements. So if you're watching on YouTube in the future and you're not really interested in hearing the channel announcements, go to this time code, because I'll chat some channel updates for a few minutes. So, first of all, I want to thank everyone again for getting us to the 500 subscriber mark, and I have been accepted onto the YouTube Partner Program, which is incredible news, and that happened a lot faster than I thought it would, because obviously getting onto the Partner Program is not something which happens automatically as soon as you hit 500 subscribers. You have to go and apply for it, and then someone actually reviews your channel, and apparently it can take up to a couple of months. So, thankfully, I guess, there's not much of a queue at the moment, because it only took a couple of days for them to review the channel and approve us for Partner Program, which is amazing. So what that does is it effectively opens up new ways to support the channel, which is brilliant, including, if you're watching on YouTube, you will see there is now a button in the description. It sort of looks like this, and I'll add that to the edit later. It sort of looks like this, and that is called Super Thanks, and it's a way of doing a one-time donation to a content creator. So it basically works essentially the same as Ko-Fi. I did look into setting up a Ko-Fi, but Ko-Fi didn't quite vibe with me, in honesty. So I've set it up via Super Thanks instead. So if you want to support the channel in a one-off fashion, you can do it that way. Now, I haven't introduced memberships, right? So memberships are kind of the YouTube equivalent of Patreon, and memberships are a recurring monthly donation to a content creator that you like. But I haven't turned those on, and I haven't turned those on for a very important reason, that being that I am going to be taking a break from content creation for a few months, coming up fairly soon because my wife and I are going to have another child very soon. So it's great news, of course. We're both incredibly excited. And so we're really looking forward to that. So, but that's the reason why I haven't turned memberships on. And I would also encourage everyone on the Twitch probably not to renew your subscriptions beyond like the next month or so, because at the end of August I am going to be taking a break from streaming for an unknown amount of time. You know what it's like with children. It's like, you know, they are on their own schedule. I will probably not be able to stream consistently at all. I probably will be able to record occasional episodes for YouTube here and there, and so I'll have a think about which games we continue to push content out for. Obviously, with YouTube, I actually produce, for some of the games, I actually produce a lot of content in advance as well. So what you'll see is you'll probably see some games ending a lot later than others, but that's just because I've recorded it earlier, if that makes sense. So that's why memberships haven't been enabled, because, you know, I don't want to give you guys the wrong idea and sign up for a membership and then it's like, oh yeah, now I'm cutting back my content creation. But yeah, so super thanks is enabled, memberships not enabled yet. When I come back after the break, we'll sort of review that. Thank you all very much for the congratulations in the chat. Thank you. Yeah, so this will be my second child, and they do say that 1 is like 2 and 2 is like 5. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a new experience. Every child is a new experience, right? In other news, in the shop we have new merch to celebrate getting to the 500 subscribers, the partner program, and so you can find that in the link down in the description. It kind of looks a bit like this, but it says 500 Club as well. If you would like my advice on which colour to buy, I'm a big fan of the dark heather grey. Of all of the colours that I've tested, I've tried out black, dark heather grey and anthracite, and dark heather grey is certainly the softest of all of the colours, so that's the one I would recommend personally, but obviously, you know, it's all to taste, and so that is in the description. And yeah, I think that was the main thing that I wanted to update you guys on, right? You know, the most important thing being that, yeah, so somewhere around the end of August, we're going to be taking a break. I'll keep all of you guys updated on the Discord, of course, and so yeah, so it's unlikely, let's say, it's unlikely that we will finish. We might finish the base game of URU by that point, but it's unlikely we'll finish the whole thing by that point. But of course, we will be coming back to it later, probably with a little bit of let's have a reminder as to what we did, you know, between. Okay. As ever, let me know how the... Oh, interesting. We have 3 places we can get into here. We haven't found a linking tapestry yet, have we? In this age? I don't think so. If we have, I think it was maybe from the other... Oh no, we have. It's in this room. No. It's not where we want to be. You have, otherwise it wouldn't be there. Fair. Oh, I've actually found 2 or 3 of them. Oh man, that's awkward. Right. Now, at the end of last episode, we'd gone back to the start of this age to go and find maybe an alternate path, and we did find a stone. Now, Please retrieve your key. Someone, I believe, in the comments mentioned that the door doesn't open because you don't have a key. But we're not getting our key from there. Now, this is where we found the stone, right? Wait a minute. Was this the way that we went first time? Hang on. I'm getting myself turned around. So this is where we linked in from. There's also a suspicious plant over here. Yes. Kind of a spoiler there with the doors. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, this is something that possibly warrants a little bit of discussion, and I'd be interested to have a discussion with you guys on the Discord about it. Because as the audience increases, right, as we get more and more people on watching, which is of course great, the probability that someone says something which is kind of a spoiler also increases. Oh man, that made me jump. It made me jump last time as well, because it's so loud in comparison to everything else. We might be pretty close to the point where... Well, that wasn't on before. We might be pretty close where we need to actually think about getting some mods on who can somewhat arbitrate in terms of what is a little bit too spoilery. What is that? Oh, we can move it around the screen. What? That's weird. I can mute the game? What is this? Are you sure you want to delete key image 0002? No, I'm not sure about anything. Is this like the image recorder from Myst 4? We've just picked up an image recorder. Oh, it's a screenshot button. Oh, okay. Right. Fair, fair, fair. Now, let's see. Yeah, so that's the stone tablet that we walked with towards the end of last episode. Interesting. So I'm presuming there's nothing else particularly to do with this. No, fine. Right, so we've picked up our key. Can the key be used to open doors? It can, it can. Right, right, right. Wait, so what's this then? Oh, it's an elevator. Ah, well, we know where we are here. This is the tower that we had linked into. Oh, that's gonna make me feel really ill. Okay, let's look at the floor. Gonna keep our eyes on the floor, guys. We're keeping our eyes on the floor. That's terrible. What is this? About spoilers, you think the problem is that everyone has a different feeling about what's a spoiler or not? I suppose you need mods to catch them before you see yourself. It's difficult, and in many ways... Oh, hey, look, it's doing that thing that it was doing before, right, with the mouse, but I have got the patch installed. I think I've got it installed. Okay, so we could jump off this. There's another elevator back there that we can go for. But maybe we just want to jump off a platform at the appropriate time. Yeah, it's interesting. There's obviously two opportunities for spoilers, right? There's obviously live in the chat. Ah, that's too far away. We can't jump to that. No chance. We could jump to this though. There's a thing. And there's also what? No, wait. I'm assuming that wasn't supposed to happen. Maybe I've not installed the patch correctly. Because I've put the patch on, and I am playing in windowed. I have to limit my frames per second. Okay. Fun fact, the part that's spinning is actually the environment, not the building. Do you know what? Weirdly, that actually makes a certain amount of sense, because if the building were spinning, it would make everyone in the building feel really ill all the time, do you know? Oh, hang on, wait, no. Now I've definitely got myself turned around. Because we have been in this room before. Right, we've done the full loop, haven't we? We've done the full loop. Here we go. Yeah, so what I was saying about spoilers, yeah, there's sort of two opportunities for spoilers. There's the live chat, obviously, and then there's the YouTube comment section. I have no idea how you could possibly handle spoilers in the YouTube comment section, of course, because those are asynchronous. But with mods, we could probably help to prevent spoilers live in the chat, because I believe... Someone's probably going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, because I still feel that I'm fairly new to all of this, right? Because I've never really worked with mods as such. But I believe mods can delete other people's chat messages. So there's more of a chance for a message to get deleted before I read it anyway. But I'm not sure. You were able to, by jumping early so that the rotation would carry me to the flat ground rather than through the wall. You can also have mods for YouTube. That would make sense. But yeah, so I don't know, it's just something I've been thinking about, because yeah, I mean, like, you know, spoilery comments do sort of crop up before. And now, I mean, I've said before that I really don't mind lore spoilers, and I think that lore spoilers are kind of good to be able to help discussion, because obviously, okay, right, we're going for it. Okay, not through the wall this time. I felt like I was definitely on the floor that time. Okay, options for FPS limiting. DX Tory, Fraps and Reaver Tuner. You won't solve this from within the game. Okay. Incidentally, whilst we debug this, I'll put another timecode in for YouTube. Or maybe just cut this section out entirely. I'm pretty sure the patch has been done correctly, because when I try and run it now, it claims it's from an unknown publisher, and do I really want to run this? Manage 3D settings. Yep. Program settings. Found it. Select a program to customize. Because obviously I've got two URU Explorer EXEs now. I've got the one that I backed up and I've got the one that I've patched. And the max frame rate, shall we say 20 FPS? Okay, I'll set it to 30. We'll apply that. Imagine that it's 2003. Okay. Oh, gee whiz! This economy's doing great! Wow! We've got unprecedented growth, possibly forever. I can't wait to get on the housing ladder. Now imagine it's 2008. Oh no! I need to get a job quick. Oh dear, no. 2008 was an interesting time, for sure. So here's an interesting factoid for you guys. So I graduated in 2008. I finished my first degree in 2008. And it was really interesting because a lot of people I went to university with started... So I graduated in June or July of 2008. Everything really kicked off August, September, right? So I know a lot of people who were just oh, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Run! No, we're not going to make it. Not worth jumping to, yeah. So I know a lot of people who were starting their grad schemes literally in September 2008, including I knew a guy who racked up a grand total of 4 days at Lehman Brothers as his first job before they went under. Like, damn, that's unlucky, bro. Like, he literally spent longer doing the graduate recruitment than the company lasted for once he got there. Like, oh, that's brutal. It was a rough time. 2008 was a rough time. The NVIDIA overlay has a counter. Oh no, I do have an FPS counter. It's on the corner of my desktop, not the corner of my window. It's saying 500. This is a core puzzle of the Age of Grecian that every player has to solve. This is like a rite of passage in URU. Okay. I think I'm definitely going to have to cut this section up so that it's... so that... for YouTube, I really don't think this is... I don't think this is premium content for the YouTube audience. I mean, I could try adding URU setup.exe, max frame rate. Okay, on, give me 30 FPS as a max frame rate globally. Apply. Maybe it needs to be in full screen. We can try that. So, whilst I'm running this full screen, it's going to be very difficult for me to see what you're saying in chat. But what we'll do is we will... like, go for it, because I saw Dodo quickly say that you can get round this by jumping early. Oh, incidentally, someone in the comments very helpfully pointed out that what we picked up in that little prison room was the hat that we're currently wearing. Here we go. Oh, I can't really turn round to show you the resplendence of the hat, but the hat is a nice hat, so we'll keep the hat. Okay, we're going to try and jump early. Try and jump early. Oh! Ah! Too early. We're in third person platforming. Everyone's favourite kind of platforming. No! Right, we're going to try and jump a little bit earlier. Maybe around here. Success? Question mark? Huh. Oh, that's weird. Right. The tea towel remains above us. Oh god. No! Don't fall through the floor! Okay, first person it up. Here we go. Up the ramp. Up the ramp. We can do this! Tea towel! Tea towel me up! Yeah! Victory! Oh, that's so dodgy. So dodgy. Right. Hey, a win's a win, right? A win's a win. Sorry, yeah, the journey cloths. The journey cloths. Right. Presumably, we can jump back on that platform when it rotates around. But if we miss it, it doesn't matter this time around. So that's fine. Oh, shoot! That thing's rotating as well. Can we get onto that from here? That looks a bit closer, doesn't it? Right, we ready? Huh! No! that was way too early. That was way too early. Oh, this one shouldn't be a problem. Okay. Well, good thing we can walk back to where we were. No need to jump early here. Once we are safely into the second building, we are going to quit out of the game. Oh no, shoot, we're going to need a journey cloth to walk back to before we can quit out of the game and safely be where we were. Nev redeemed, what do I see? Well, I mean, yeah, there's a journey cloth here, but I would like to only have to make this jump once. Preferably. I should play like this until I finish the A. Oh! Okay. Safe. Safe. I should play like this until I finish the age, IMHO. Oh, keep looking, says Nev. Oh, shoot. Oh, no. I might have to go back there later to redeem that clue. I will remember it. I will remember. Oh, hang on a minute. Have we got power to this door? Oh, we do. Hey, do you know what? That means we probably have power to the door from the lower level that we got to from Teledarn? Did you guys just see something like flash up a frame on screen of something? That was weird. So we've got another... Yeah, something glitched. Okay. Glad I wasn't imagining it. So we've got a sort of another round building. Now each of these doors on the edge is just going to take us out of the building. So that's kind of fine. Probably a subliminal ad for the Riven remake. Buy our games! That looks like a robot with guns for hands, doesn't it? I kind of don't like the look of that. Okay. So we've got a like an environmental suit there. We've got a corridor going off this way, which sort of breaks the symmetry of the... Have we been suited up there? Iron Man style. We have. Alright. Cool. Wait. So what have we got here? We've got a chair. It's overlooking something. So what are we overlooking? Like, that kind of looks a bit like a fighting pit or something, doesn't it? Like, I see sort of scorch marks on the ground. Like someone's been discharging weapons in there. Elevator down. Wait, no. This is just... Okay, okay. So not all of these rooms end up going to the same place then. So we've got that one. We've got... So that's the room we just went in. So there's at least 2 more rooms. Tell you what, this room, like this building, is ominous, right? Ah! We have a data notebook from the DRC. Now this is bad guy layer, if I ever seen one, right? This is definitely where the evil cabal hang out. Like, look at it. Let's do some reading. Title, key. Catalog number. Oh, you believe the building's a hexagon? Ah, we'd need to double check that one. According to the Book of Denis, the environmental suits are designed to have books placed in the gloves, right? Oh, interesting. Huh, okay. The key. Base functions. Denis number 3 on the back side of all of these devices. 3 functions. There's certainly more than that. 3 core functions. In any case, it's a convenient name. Key. Nexus interface. The Nexus seems to be just an interpreter for key data. Keys allow users to provide or decline book access to other keys. I think we can make this work for neighborhoods as well. Age names defined in the key appear in the Nexus, or should. Interesting. So, hang on, I'm going to quickly close that. So, my key here, what? I would sort of interpret that as you can access your linking books from the key. Just an interpreter of key data. Keys allow users to provide or decline book access to other keys. So can you access books from keys? Okay. Interpersonal communication. Obviously the most important function. Voice or text communication to other key users, inter or intra-age, doesn't seem to matter. Image capture, storage and transfer. A single button press captures an image and stores it within an appropriate age directory. Images can be sent to other keys as well as uploaded to some images depending on versions. Seems main servers coordinated this functionality, might be tough to retrieve. Journal entry, storage and transfer. Fairly simple, write notes and store them. Again, server handles transfer journal, key to key or key to imager. Markers, the ability to drop and collect markers at an operator's present location in an age. Layers of functionality here requires more research. Perhaps this feature could be tapped to help with the GZ problem. Interesting. Doors. In this age, the key, even at its most basic level, opened level 1 doors. Level 2 and level 3 doors require higher versions. There is much more variety to these devices than we first suspected. The dispenser is capable of handing out at least 5 versions and possibly more. Feature set varies wildly. There must have been a system to control and track these devices. But where? Imager built into the unit is surprisingly compact and efficient, uses this same blasted lattice compression system, for lack of a better word. We have to crack that powerful projection for something that fits on top of a hand. Markers, purpose, perhaps a training tool for maintainers. Markers could be set up and recruiters or lower ranks run through the course. Interface, keys connect with markers in 3 ways. Team capture. Once all the markers are placed, there are 2 teams that can collect markers. The key registered the markers to a respective team. Markers can vanish after a time limit or after all have been registered. Markers must be in the same age. Test, can markers be reset? Hold, against 2 teams, markers only vanish after a preset time limit has expired. Markers do not disappear upon being activated, although server keeps track of what team is holding it. Server summarizes team holding most markers at the end of a time limit. Markers must be in the same age. Is this some kind of online capture the flag game? Some kind of puzzle-based capture the flag? Single capture, only one individual key can register markers. Markers also carry text. Entire marker can be sent via key to another key anywhere in the system. Markers can be placed in any age. Markers themselves seem identical to those produced by the Great Zero. In fact, I'm positive the same technology is being used, if not the Great Zero itself. It's possible the keys are communicating with the Zero itself and writing these markers anywhere they are registered. Problems with that theory, maintainer markers, etc. Key registration. Key tracks all other keys on 3 levels. Intra-age, any other key within the age is logged and displayed. Key to key, any individual key can be registered for specific tracking. As a result, no matter where the key is, journals, photos, etc. can be sent and communication can occur. Perhaps this was used for temporary or semi-permanent team missions. For our purposes, a friend list. And then groups. The key also recognizes groups somehow related to the Nexus. Seems possible if properly configured to support neighborhood lists within this function. Interesting. Okay, so where my mind is immediately going there is back to age 37B. If you are a Denis and you have a key and you go to age 37 and then the descriptive book of age 37 gets modified to turn it into age 37B, so age 37 now does not have a descripting book that links to it anymore, and all of the linking books now stop working for that age. Does your key still function? Are you still able to send messages and basically be like, thanks for stranding me forever, I hate you all? Just something to think about. I don't know. I wonder if the keys could be used as some kind of multiverse anchoring system to allow Denis writers to write a book targeting a particular key's location. That would be kind of interesting. Okay, I need to catch up on the chat, and and I can only catch up on the chat in the really, really small window, so bear with me. You need numbers. You won't need the numbers on the right yet. It's to Denis. This is it's the gloves. I didn't see any numbers. It's explaining how the key works in live mostly. The key is used as login for the Nexus. I haven't found the Nexus yet, no. Lots of marker quests in live, 90% of this is multiplayer. Went down a bit of a rabbit hole a while back, trying to get info on those suits. Booker Denis claimed that each hand would contain a very tiny linking book. But am I wrong to think you'd need to use the big descriptive book the first time an age is linked to? Thinking too logically here. It's just a tool for players. Just a tool for the players. No, it has to fit into the lore. It has to fit into the lore. What are the implications of this? But you know what? I really like the idea of a tiny linking book. It reminds me, so you guys will remember that I'm rewatching Death Note recently. I think I mentioned it in the stream a few weeks ago that I was going to start watching Death Note. Start rewatching Death Note, and it reminds me of that bit where, spoiler alert for Death Note, Light Yagami, he has a scrap of the Death Note hidden in a secret compartment in his watch so that he can write on the Death Note in an emergency, because any scrap of a Death Note has the same properties of the Death Note itself. And I just like the idea of just tearing a corner out of a linking book so that you can like use it to link with without having to have the book itself. That's really funky. There are, in some ways, like thematically, Death Note and Myst share certain commonalities of, there are these notebooks and they have all kinds of rules to them, but like the intersection of those rules with various logical consequences of the real world kind of have interesting impact. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to touch. There we go, minimise that out. Not sure what that's trying to tell me. I don't even know if we need a picture of that, because it just looks like a grid. Where is this one going to take us? Well, this looks like Denis once again. Oh, it's very dark, isn't it? That's very, very dark. I'm gonna need to do the backwards walking trick to get any kind of sense of what's around us here. Looks like we can't jump up onto that balcony. That balcony is too high. But, like, why, though? But why? Okay, unless it's literally too dark to see, I don't think there's a door here or anything. So... all of these empty rooftops come into play later. Okay. Fair enough. With that, back to Relto. Is it still necessary for me to be playing this in full screen mode? Or given that we're back to Relto, do you think it's reasonable to quit out the game and relaunch it in windowed mode? I mean, I'm guessing we can always, like, when we have another dodgy jump to do in future, I'll need to go back to the Center Island at least once more. Right, okay. But for now we can quit and go back to windowed mode. Okay, that's good. It makes it a lot harder to read the chat if I'm in full screen. So let's set up windowed, play. Excellent. Much better. Yeah. Back to our journey cloth. Okay. Now we had ourselves a little "what do you see" clue earlier. So, given that we're back here, oh, there's a ledge on this side. So what do we see? What do we see? Well, we can go all the way around this stone here. There is a ledge on the other side of that stone. Whoops, almost fell off there. There is something we can jump down to there. We've got a big door at the bottom. You was just about to do it again. I mean, in terms of what we're looking at, oh right, the what do you see you meant. Oh right, okay. Whoops. These jumps to that door should work. Yeah, okay. Well, so we've got a platform that we could probably jump down to down there. No way are we going to be able to jump down to that door on the ground level. Like, no chance at all. I don't know. I'm not sure I see anything which is like really jumping out to me. I can jump down there, you reckon? Really? You reckon I can jump down that safely? No. Ugh. Wow, good thing we don't have fall damage, but do you know what? We fell so hard, we're literally suffering an out-of-body experience as a result. Oh, blimey. Right, so that's the door that gets us to the pillar at the end. Good. Are we going to need to go back to Relto? I thought he grabbed onto the rocks there. I was going to start climbing it. Right, back to the journey cloth. I think one of the journey cloths is going to be in the centre of that building, and we'll need to get to it probably via Teledyne, I would imagine. Yeah, we'll need to make the jump at least once more because, obviously, as soon as we touch any of the other journey cloths, our ability to come back here quickly is removed. Someone said, interesting fact, it's actually the age that's rotating, not the building. I don't see how both buildings can be rotating on their primary axis from the reference frame of the age, if it's the age that's rotating though. So... someone might have to explain that to me, if that's genuinely the case. Oh, okay, game engine-wise, it's the environment that's rotating, not the buildings we're in. Right, I see. Got it. You came across a 10-plus-year-old YouTube comment implying... Hang on, is this the one? No, this is different to the one we've been in. Or is it? Is it the same one? It might be the same one. 10-plus YouTube comment claiming that Danica somehow right-linking books to other ages without going there. That sounds wrong to me. Yeah... I agree with Dodo. That sounds inconsistent with how people have explained it to me before. I can distinguish rooms by their colours. Yeah, so that's the blue room. Has anyone seen the 1990s question mark sci-fi movie Cube? Like, that is a wild ride of a movie. Ah, now here's another different room. Interesting. So yes, here we are. This is the map of the building that we're in. So you've got gather the suits, and then you're looking at the side of the thing. I see. Right. So here's the layer rooms, the board rooms. Yeah. Here's the suit rooms. And then the windows for the suit rooms look out. So... what we're looking out at, actually, are two different rooms. That is probably going to be important to bear in mind. You love the concept of Cube. I really like Cube, and you've watched, and Dodo's watched all of the Cube movies. Oh, there's a handprint there. I believe I have seen all of them, unless there's been any new ones. I've seen Cube, I've seen Cube 2, and I've seen, which I believe was called Cube 2: The Next Dimension, maybe? And I have seen Cube 0, which was called something like Cube 0 Origins, or something like that. I'm not sure. And Cube 1, really liked it. An absolute classic sci-fi movie. And I really love the fact that there is very little explanation given as to what the motivations of the people that put these guys in the cube is. And I kind of like that, the mystery of it. And yeah, and I kind of like the whole kind of, oh, it's a factor of 2 primes kind of thing. As a mathematician, I thought that was kind of pretty neat. If you've ever played the game 21s, which was a very popular drinking game back in the 2000s, that's a really great way to get a lot of people to drink. But anyway, the Cube 2, kind of like the idea of it being a 4-dimensional cube. I thought the execution of it was questionable, like the big spinny thing. you know the one that I mean, right? There was a trap in one of the rooms which was like a dodgy CGI spinny thing. I wasn't a big fan of that one. And then Cube 0, where the big kind of hook for the movie was, we're going to go outside the cube for the first time, and you see the operators of the cube, and it's like, oh yeah, who's really trapped? Is it the people in the cube, or is it the people running the cube? Everything's kind of a prison. I think I need to give that one a rewatch. I thought it was pretty meh the first time I saw it, but it was a very, very different cube, because it was a very sort of mechanical, grimy sort of cube, that one. So maybe it was like a very early concept for the cube. I don't know. Yeah. You don't remember the subtitles, but yes, those are the 3 that you've seen. You kind of liked all 3, but it was a long time ago. Yisha has broken some rules for writing, but I've never heard of that one. I like the idea, similarly with Catherine's writing style, of people being able to discover things that you can do with linking books that the Denis never did with linking books, because it was like banned or considered taboo or whatever. Or maybe they just didn't know, right, the extent to the art themselves. And I do like the idea of Yisha creating things like the linking pamphlet, being like, well, yeah, this is like some kind of forbidden Denis tech that, yeah, you can totally write a linking book that comes with you. You just need to know how to do it, and I'm not going to tell anyone. Like, I kind of like it. Simpson, don't mention anything about the upper area of the fortress in your Grecian report. I don't want people wandering all over Teledan looking for that weird link stone sharper. So there we go. There's our clue if we hadn't been to Teledan already. That's only half true. They probably tried all kinds of writing, but they made rules against stuff that could do weird things. Yeah. Like, you know, creating literal gods in the ages that you write. Analysis. Author, Simpson. Transcribed from voice recorder. Grecian. This is 2001 to 2002. Multiple trips. Okay, one thing seems immediately obvious. This place was built for security. No one could write a link anywhere in this place or the next. It was obviously a maintainer facility of some kind, and it doesn't seem that it was for general guild members. By that, I mean it was limited to at least the higher ranking members. So no one can write linking books in this age. That's interesting. As to how they got the first link written here, I don't know. Probably while it was under construction. It does seem pretty obvious that it's not going to happen again unless something major happens to this place. So it's possible to create some kind of age where you are not able to write a linking book within it. That's kind of interesting. I should say that Kodama has some theories about the age that have held up so far. May have been a special forces of a sort for the maintainers. Started later, mid-8000s, became somewhat of a research and development arm for the Maintainers Guild. I don't know, worth mentioning though. There are quite a few mentions of such groups in other docs Kodama has found, or at least seen. entrance. To begin with, I'd wager that no one other than a high-ranking government official or similar ever even made it to this room. That's just my guess, but it seems pretty sound. I don't think any school buddies or girlfriends dropping by to see their maintainer friend. The linking book we found was deep within the maintainer guild. I'm sure it was well guarded in its day. You can see right off the bat the entrance was extremely secure. Thick walls, one door, high window, sniper maybe. If you manage to get in with a bomb or something, it's not going to do any noticeable damage. I love the maintainer symbol on its floor and everywhere else you look, as though I might forget and wonder where I am. Shout out to a very, very obscure future abduction plot point, right? Being able to link into an age, leave a weapon, and then link out is something that is, spoiler alert, very important to the plot of Abduction. Abduction, in a way, really is very much a spiritual successor to Myst, right? Like, the linking works a different way, and because and the way it happens, like the in-law justification for being able to link between ages is different, but it's very similar in its execution. Waiting room. So visitors are escorted into this little waiting room. There's a window on one side, looks almost like a ticket window. Maybe turn in weapons or goods that aren't allowed. Maybe books. I'm sure they didn't want books in here. Looks like mainly for books. There is another ticket window on the other side, although this one looks different. That's why there's lockers on the other side of the windows. You hand your books in, they lock them up for you. Looks mainly for books. There's another ticket window on the other side, although this one looks different. I'm pretty sure there are beetle cages on the other side. Beetles that sort out ink. Somebody was just telling me there are all kinds of references to them in other docs. You didn't make it past this room with a book. As well, the doors never open at the same time, so even if somehow you make it out of the entrance room, you're still not going to make it past these mammoth doors of a waiting area. Halls. Looks like the halls ran along the entire circumference of the building. There are plenty of rooms. I'll just try to hit them one at a time. First is an elevator though. However, looks like it's only down. We've not been down. Wonder if it was always that way. More security, I guess. Once you've made it to the halls, there is still nowhere to go, at least if they didn't want you going anywhere. Lockers. I would think that any books that were brought into the age were kept in the lockers. I imagine that some of the workers here, or frequent visitors, also kept some equipment, but I could be wrong on that. Looks like they kept some maintainer gear as well, markers, helmets, etc. Seems a little out of place, honestly. Keys. Okay, things are becoming a little more clear now. Just had a long chat with Laxman and researched some different docs over in the city that Nick had. Looked like the current condition I'm seeing was not the original condition. The key was a major development, not just for the guild, but also apparently for all citizens. Turns out they were just starting to hand out the keys in public around the time of the fall. Nice timing. So it looks like they had done some renovations in order to facilitate the mass amount of visitors that would be coming in order to retrieve keys. Turns out my little girlfriend analogy was pretty much completely wrong. Girlfriends and more were going to start coming here, at least to the open sections. Kodama corrected me. We've already found multiple books in the neighbourhoods, as well as the guarded maintainer book I mentioned earlier. Whoops. Incidentally, Simpson, making some bold assumptions about the gender divide in the Maintainers Guild. Like, I'm sure boyfriends want to come as well. Like, come on. It's the 21st century, Simpson. Or at least the 8th millennium, possibly. 9th millennium in Dini culture. So, visitors come in, walk through the doors. Beetles check for books. Oh, because the beetles can sniff the ink. Very nice. And they walk down the hall into the key room. Get a key and link out. Guards are probably at the up elevator, which is just behind this room. If they did happen to bring any illegal items, They get them back from the other side of the locker room, and off they go back home with their new shiny key. Right, so the elevators... We should check out that other elevator. Okay. You like the idea of books with weird properties. Trap books is the first example. Yeah, the more I've kind of thought about it, the more I'm kind of in the camp of... I'm sort of happy with the retcon they did with trap books. Like, I kind of feel like trap books are just kind of like a different way of writing a book, and then you break the link and whatnot. The slightly weird thing is in the window, you get a preview, because this was also the case with Gehn's trap book, you get a preview of the age that you were originally linked to. I don't know. Trap books are really just weird, although because they wanted to implement the actual way in older games. They weren't implemented the actual way in older games. Makes more sense as to why the maintainer paraphernalia was in the locker rooms too. Probably a little display type thing for all the visitors to impress them. Warehouse, quite a bit of goodies in here, all of which I'm sure most visitors never saw. Pretty bad cave-in from the floor above. Although Engberg says structurally the place seems alright. He's doing more detailed inspections soon. Looks like most of these crates are filled with key maintenance type equipment, as well as variety of spare parts, etc. I don't know. Laxman will have to give this place a good inspection. I'm sure he'll love going through all of it. Beyond me, I know that. Beetle cages. Convenient cave-in. Not sure how one is supposed to get into the beetle cages without it. No idea how they did it. Link, maybe? Regardless... Pretty positive the cages were for beetles. Symbols on the front and quite a bit of remnants in some of the dirtier cages. We'll have to clean those up. Wonder when they all died. Speaking of access, another question. How they get to the second floor? Elevators skip the middle floor. More security, I suppose. Interesting, okay. That's something to think about as well. Here's another question. Well, I guess the answer's probably going to be because the DRC sorted it out. But the fall was only a couple hundred years ago, right? So, where's all the skeletons? Right? Because, like, or maybe I'm misunderstanding exactly what happened in the fall. But the fall was like a civil war, right? Wasn't there lots of fighting and things? I don't know. So... And Denis wasn't small. It was a whole city of people. So you're talking about thousands and thousands of people. The Book of Denis explains this in a way. Okay, cool. Let me know what the Book of Denis says. So, middle floor. Second floor, destruction was a little bit more substantial than I thought. Looks like it tore out a section of the outer wall even. I'm going to get out of here until Engberg can come back again. Been a few days, but I'm back. I'm no expert, so I guess I'll have to trust Engberg, but he says this whole thing is one of the most solid, heavy pieces of construction he's ever seen. It's safe, he assures me. If I die here and someone retrieves this recording, please sue him for me. Second floor looks similar to the first. Outer hall and a number of rooms. Have to remember that very few people probably ever walked these halls. There's no access via elevators, stairs, anything to get here. I assume it had to be done via linking book, which is probably somewhere in the city. I suppose there could be a way to stop those elevators on the middle floor, but I doubt it. Regardless, this floor was extremely secure. Book access only, I'm guessing. Guard lounge. Next to the observation room, at least that's what I assume it was, what looks like a guard lounge. Looks like they stayed here for long amounts of time. There are beds in here as well as couches. I assume these guys manned the window observation post whilst visitors were coming in. Guard lockers. More lockers similar to the set downstairs, although these are manned with some heavy equipment. I'm sure Watson will want to see this stuff and keep it locked up well. In fact, I'm not even going down into the detail about it here. Laxman can write all about this stuff in a later report. I will say I didn't know that Denis had this kind of technology. Interesting. Heavy equipment. Gear room. Now I see why this floor was so secure. Looks like the whole power structure for this building is here. Amazing construction. So we've been to this room. The entire building looks to have been powered by some underground water source that caused it to turn. They implemented a gear that would grab onto teeth in the ground outside and provide them the power source as well. Talk about killing two giant birds with one stone. Pretty amazing. Power looks somewhat complicated. Seems as though there were at least occasions where power was turned off, as there were obviously controls to do that and then start it again. I'm heading to the top. Wow. I thought this building was big. The main portion is absolutely giant, and rotating too, of course. I'm overcome with the amount of work put into this place just for security. It's everywhere, almost comical, picturing government officials walking the same paths as I am. Amazing. To get to the other side, looks like one had to walk across the bridge to the rock pinnacle. The first place seen, we've arrived, and we're able to save a link. Interesting. And it's not big, and there's a massive structure facing you if you did. Pretty funny to try and picture an army invading, all of them bunched up on this stone waiting for those bridges to rotate. What the? Oh my gosh! Those creatures! These things are something out of a horror movie. I've been up here a little while, and I don't see them often, but when I do, they're scaring me to death. I'm beginning to understand the fences and structures a little better. Perhaps some of them were designed to keep those creatures out more than keep visitors in. Don't hang around in these woods unless you have a big gun. Another bridge to reach the main portion of this place. More security. I will say that the platform between the bridges seems to have eroded. At one time, crossing the bridges was probably a security feature to ensure manageable groups could approach the larger structure one at a time, but I would wager it was still a lot easier than what it is now. The erosion to the platform between the bridges has made it a little rougher. I suppose the maintainers would like it even more in its current condition. Then we've got mud rooms. Now, let me just do a quick time check on how many pages we've got. Okay, 2 more pages. I'm not sure what to call these things, but they remind me of mud rooms, so I'll call them that. Not much here. Looks like each bridge has a mud room attached to it with another group of doors, etc. There doesn't seem to be any kind of decompression or decontamination that went on here. Really, they seem to be nothing more than another spot for another set of doors, another secure location. Training Centre. I was going to go through each of the rooms here, but after making a quick overview, I think I'll just start with the entire thing. There are 3 types of rooms in the building, 2 of each kind. A control room, 1 purple and 1 yellow, a display room, 1 purple and 1 yellow, and then a conference room. Though these aren't coloured, I assume there is one for each team. The entire building seems to be centered on the massive wall in the middle. The control rooms control the wall. The display rooms display the uniforms that were worn in the wall, I presume, and the conference rooms allow the government visitors and high-ranking officials to confer about the training on the wall. C. So control rooms first. I'm not going to go into the control for the wall in this dock. I'll let Laxman do that at some other time. Regardless, the panels here obviously control the wall. The wall was used for training as well as testing of various suits. I believe the central room can get pretty hot, cold, smoky, or anything else I can imagine pretty quickly. It was a competition. Whoever would get to the top the quickest, teams would set up obstacles and members would race. There is a side tunnel that provides access to the display rooms from the control room. Then the display rooms. Not sure that these were originally display rooms, or maybe they were. Either way, there are quite a few old maintainer suits in there. There is also the latest maintainer suit or skin here. I guess I should say the machine to put on the latest maintainer suit is in here. Now that we've had some time to look at this, it's incredible. We're talking about a suit that was skin tight, had linking abilities built in, very high tech as far as maintainer suits go. Very impressive. A maintainer would fall down the chute, and while travelling to the interior room, the wall, the suit would be placed on him. I'm begging to try this thing, but DRC is insistent that no one does. Laxman already has someone on it trying to figure things out. I'm first when they do. I think these rooms should basically be described as team locker rooms. And then conference rooms. Well, I guess these rooms were there for bigwigs to sat down and talk about their maintainers. Obviously, they are set up to watch the wall, and there are displays that show the patterns being built and played on the wall. We'll never know, but I can see the guild masters in here watching their teams compete, preparing to send them out to some radioactive fireball age to see if their new suits can stand the elements. And then upper portions. I'm not going up now, but we do know the upper portions were used as prison cells. Typical Denis technology, they had single linking books that went to all the cells. Since the building was always rotating, a very complicated linking apparatus and timing mechanism was associated with the book. The timing of the link would determine which cell the person linked into. Apparently it was very tight. Speaking of linking, this entire building is rotating as well. It seems that most visitors came on the path from the well, although there were also books directly to the building. There had to be. It seemed like many of them also used a timing mechanism to link into specific rooms. Looks like another new feature designed and built by these guys. One of many, I'm sure. I'm just wondering where all the main research labs were, or better yet, where did everyone sleep or eat? Well, interesting. And we have another journey cloth here. So, 3 more to find. But there's the wall, and the wall is the big grid that was on the screen in the other conference room. So there we go. 3 more journey cloths to find. What do we have? We have an elevator that can apparently go down in the first building. We've got the top floor in this building. We've got a middle floor, which we've sort of half explored, and I'm sure there's more to be looked at. However, my friends, that is all we're going to have time for today. If you are 2 more cloths, says Dodo. 3 more, I think. 3 more, 1 for each finger. So, yeah, 3 more I expect. Oh, and of course one of them we have to go via Teledance, so we sort of know where one of them is going to be. Well, my friends, that is going to wrap us up for today's episode of URU Complete Chronicles. If you're watching on YouTube in the future, thank you very much for coming along and watching this episode. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I will see you next time. Bye for now. For those of us on Twitch, thank you very much for coming along. We've got 2 teaspoons of salt has just followed. Thank you very much for the follow. Thank you, it's very much appreciated. Let me just quickly catch